Alright guys, so I wanted to record this video the next morning, but I couldn't resist, so I took a very fast look at every single piece of equipment at Maximum Fusion from this tower, and I realized that this tower has horrible pieces of equipment, and I decided to upload this video as fast as possible, in case some of you would like to spend money on this tower equipment. In my opinion, you shouldn't. Let me explain to you why. As usual, we will start by quickly reviewing the green pieces. Well-deserved break. This is one of the worst green pieces in existence. All it does is it increases your toughness and it makes you take less damage when blocking. You don't require this item. There are multiple items in the game that does the same thing, and toughness is only situationally useful. I haven't used any piece that gives toughness for probably 1 year. In very situational cases, on very specific characters, you might use toughness gear. In the general case, people don't use toughness gear, and the 25% less damage from special attacks when blocking is a joke. Since you're already blocking, the damage is going to be reduced. It is not extremely unusable, but it's definitely not something that I would prioritize over anything else in the game. So this piece, total trash, probably 2 out of 10. I would never ever use it outside of the tower. Next piece, Sinka, 20% all special attack and blockable chance. Pretty bad as well. At least this piece gives you 0.5 bar starting power, which is not horrible. It is not great at the same time. So this one is probably 4 out of 10. Again, nothing special, pretty bad. Let's continue with the third piece, which is actually great. This is probably the best piece in the tower. What I mean is that everybody will be maxing this piece, which basically means that everyone will experience its strength at Fusion 10, because on average, every fourth combo ender will set the enemies on fire, which is pretty awesome. And on top of everything, the fire will last 30% longer. So, very good piece. You can use it basically on any character that can fight well, and you can watch the enemies melt due to the fire. Even if your fighter is Fusion 0, this thing will work, and it's going to be pretty awesome. So, very useful piece. Compared to the other two, this is probably 8 out of 10. For a green piece, it's really good. However, the rest, a Sinkat and well-deserved break, total garbage. Now let's move to the green pieces. We have Tin Hat. 200% recovery boost. Good. I mean, recovery is always useful, right? Especially after they buffed it. 30% reduced power cost on all special attacks. That's pretty good as well, not going to lie. 50% chance that the opponent's minigame will not add bonus damage to special attack. This is... what the hell? I mean, this is a good mixture of defensive and offensive qualities of this piece. I reckon 30% reduced power cost on all special attacks, very good for special 1 spammers, not really great for special 2 spammers, but for special 1 spammers it's awesome. So you will always make sure that this piece will definitely work for you, especially once again considering the fact that this is on armor. So really good armor. For one thing, it makes sure that you recover health very fast, and second thing, the reduced power cost on all special attacks is huge for an armor. So this is another very good piece from this tower. Where I see value, I always give kudos for a specific piece of equipment, and this one is really good. Now, the 50% chance the opponent minigame will not add bonus damage, I'm not going to comment on that because I cannot even imagine it, but at the end of the day, the recovery boost and the reduced power cost on all special attack on an armor is very nice. Let's continue though. We have the Stunt Award. 45% basic attack and blockable chance. 100% chance to gain shield on successful special attack too. Now, we already have a problem here. Johnny Cage doesn't really use his special 2 that often. I'm not saying that it's completely unacceptable for you to use it. You use it occasionally, but in the general case, all you want to do is spam special 1. So the shield on special 2, not really incredible. And gain snare immunity when shield is active. If you're playing Johnny Cage well and you're controlling the situation, you're not going to get snared. So this one is not really that good. I'm sorry, this one is not really that great, and I don't see how they designed it for Johnny Cage. Probably it's designed for classic movie Johnny Cage, which I haven't played, but if we're talking about all other Johnny Cages in the game, they mainly rely on special 1. With certain exceptions, for instance, sometimes you want to do special 2 on Strike Force Johnny Cage, but in the general case, you're doing special 1. So having shield on special 2, I guess it's not horrible, but definitely it doesn't feel like designed for Johnny, and that is a shame. This piece is not incredible. Now, let's continue to the other one. Director's Makeover. Look at this. 35% critical hit chance boost, 15% chance to apply shield break on critical hit. This is great. This is great. However, there is one thing that I want to test. How long this shield break lasts. Because if you're spamming critical hit chance all the time, definitely you'll be applying shield break all the time. And that's incredible. And this is an accessory. So very, very good. Shield break is the way to go if you want to kill bosses faster. And 100% chance to apply incurability in user tagging. This one is also good. So far, we have 2 good blue pieces and 1 good uncommon piece. Everything else, not really great. Stun award, not really incredible. However, my main disappointment comes with the epic pieces. And I don't understand why they keep releasing absolutely horribly bad epic pieces. After all, they are the pieces that should sell, right? These are the big boys. You have to go after them. They are the ultimate equipment in the game. The problem is that I believe the developers of the game are so obsessed of creating epic pieces only for bosses that they forget that at the end of the day people should be incentivized to buy those things. But I don't want to buy them, and let me explain to you why. Let's go to the stunt buddies. Look at this. For any debuff that the user applies to the opponent, the user has a 40% chance to gain Vampire on basic attacks for 10 seconds. Defensive thing, alright? I mean, the Vampire is always useful, but it is not really the greatest thing on the planet. It will be useful in survival mode, but if you're playing Johnny Cage, usually you're in control, so this is not really incredible. Still, it is good, but it's very, very underwhelming for an epic piece at Fusion 10. You need to spend $500 to get there, right? Anyways, for any block breaker attack, the user has a 100% chance to apply a debuff to the opponent for 10 seconds. However, this debuff can be just applied once. It is said clearly that there can be only one such debuff at a time. Kind of underwhelming. Let's continue. Johnny Cage, specific effect for him. On incoming special attack on X-Ray, Johnny Cage has a 50% chance to swap himself with a stun double who will receive the damage instead of him. This effect can be triggered until the stun double is out of health. This is a defensive effect, especially designed so that Johnny Cage can be one of the worst bosses to face ever. I don't care about this defensive mechanism. I wouldn't max this piece for this defensive mechanism. I would be happy if this piece actually works and the chance is pretty good at Fusion 0. But once again, defensive effects on epic pieces, especially such type of defensive effects that rely on chance, are mainly designed for bosses, which for me is disappointing. Let's continue. For every 30% of max health lost, the user temporarily gains a protective buffer for 10 seconds. The protective buffer gets larger depending on the amount of max health lost, with the maximum size equals to yada yada, whatever. Again, this piece is horrible. This is an entirely defensive piece, only designed so that it can be extremely annoying on bosses. Pretty bad. For one thing, you're doing special attack, they can swap the stun double can take the damage. You are trying to do some damage to them actually, they get the protective bubble, they hit you, they're going to apply the buff on you, and they're going to vampire the damage back. Pretty horrible. And designed for bosses. I'm sorry, I'm not going to buy that. Let's continue. We have the Rage Wrench. 50% chance to drain 10% of the opponent's current max power on combo ender. What is max power? Like, what is current max power? I understand what max power is. For instance, 3 bars of power is the max power. The current power is, for instance, if I have gained 1 out of those 3 bars of power. But what is current max power? I don't get that. Anyways, each next hit that was not avoided by the opponent gives a 5% basic attack damage boost. Maximum is 100%. Resets upon taking a hit or tag out. This one is decent because it has an offensive value, so you can get 100% attack damage boost, basic attack damage boost, and you lose it once you tag out. So that's pretty cool, because usually you have one fight, you tag in, you do a lot of damage, and a certain situation eventually you're going to tag out, but generally you want to be keeping this guy tagged in and do a lot of damage to the enemy, right? So that's pretty cool for a user. Power that was drained on combo ender is stolen from the user. This one is decent for a user, however, it is underwhelming for a Fusion X epic piece. So, still not good enough. Good for a user, but not good enough. Let's continue. We have another weapon, Primal Bait. 50% chance to apply blind on successful special attack 1. Yeah, whatever, it's just okay, but it is underwhelming for a Fusion X epic piece. 60% chance to disable one random piece of opponent's equipment for 13 seconds on any special attack. Alright, okay. I don't know how this is going to work in general. Is it going to have the same effect like Tanya? That's cool, but you have to remember that this 60% chance applies at Fusion 10. I don't know what the chance is at Fusion 0, I have to check. But still, we are just making the review only based on Fusion 10 stats. 70% chance for opponent's attack to reflect 50% damage and distribute it evenly to the whole enemy team if this attack was avoided by the user. Do you see it, guys? Do you see how this piece is going to be placed on the boss? You're going to do special attack, they're going to evade it, they're going to deal damage to your entire team. Oh my god. So this one is again underwhelming. It has some weird... I don't know how even to describe this piece. The only good thing that I find about it is the fact that it disables one random piece and it has blind. The thing that you're reflecting opponent's attack, I don't know. Probably it's just me, guys, but when I'm fighting, I don't want to reflect the damage. I just wanna deal the damage myself, right? So this one is again designed for bosses, and it's a weapon. And that's a weapon. It's unfortunate, but it's a weapon designed to be annoying on bosses. Now let's continue. Director's Chair. 100% chance to gain Dispel on successful special attacks. Cool. For every bar of power spent by the user's team, the team gains 35% critical hit damage boost for 20 seconds. This critical hit damage boost can stack up to 3 times. That's pretty cool as well. So, 2 effects that are good, but again, underwhelming for a Fusion 10 epic card. And look at this. For every teammate's final death, the Joker gains 10% power generation boost and all incoming attack damage reduction until the end of the match. The faster the teammate dies, the larger the damage reduction is. So basically, if your teammates die, which usually you don't want to happen, you're going to get damage reduction. Once again, you will get damage reduction if your teammates die. So, your teammates will die, and you'll have a strategy which involves the Joker getting hit after 2 of your teammates die, so that he can take less damage. This piece is designed 100% to be annoying on bosses. Because, let's take a look at the final effect. 50% chance to gain invulnerability when debuffs were removed by this spell from the user. So the boss is going to do something like a special one or whatever, and he's going to become invulnerable on top of everything. So, if I have to summarize, there are decent pieces. I don't like the epics, not one bit. In my opinion, one of the best pieces is the Tin Hat. It's not incredible, but still good. Once again, it's an armor, that's why it is good. Also, we have the Director's Makeover because you have shield break on critical hit, which is incredible. You have the easy die, pretty awesome. And now I have to be honest. So if I have to be 100% accurate towards the epic pieces, I will review them at Fusion 0. And of course, I will make separate videos on testing them and see how they work. But in the general case, Stunt Buddies is not really horrible, because the chance of you getting saved at Fusion 0 is 30%, which is a decent chance. Every third special attack you can avoid it. But in the general case, I just dislike those pieces, and I don't consider them to be extremely good, especially considering the fact that at Fusion 10 it doesn't give you a 100% chance. So you cannot really... What you're going to do, you're going to eat an X-ray with 50% chance to eat it for real? No, no thank you. That's a Fusion 10 piece that costs hundreds of dollars. But still, having it at Fusion 0 and locking it makes sense, so it's not really a horrible piece. Still, I don't really like it. Let's see the range, the Rage Wrench. You have 32% chance to drain 10% of the opponent's current max power. I don't know what is current max power. Please, somebody explain to me. And you can get 55% attack damage boost, basic attack damage boost, which is underwhelming. I'm sorry, this piece is not really good at low fusion, and I would argue that it's not really great at maximum fusion, but still. Another thing that you can use it for is probably to snare people with weak point attacks, but there are blue pieces that can do that as well. So, epic piece, no thank you. Still though, I want to see what is current max power. We have the Primal Bait, look at this. 40% chance to apply blind or successful special attack on. Oh my god, so every single fusion gives an extra 1% chance. Incredible. 30% chance to disable one random piece of opponent's equipment for 13 seconds. This one is also really usable at Fusion 0, so it's not really horrible. Something like this. Not horrible, it's not great. Let's call it that way. And we have the Director's Chair. 55% chance to gain dispel on successful special attack. For every bar of power spent by the user team, the team gains 70% critical hit damage boost for 20 seconds. This one at lower fusion, the Joker gains 5.5 power generation. I'm sorry, this one is not really great at lower fusion, the Director's Chair. I just don't see it really incredible. Like, once again, that's an epic piece and it is not incredible. So out of the epics, the stunt buddies are okay at Fusion 0, probably the best one to have at Fusion 0 because of the 30% chance to survive, and probably this one, the Primal Bait, is also decent, but none of those is a game changer, none of this is something incredible, and I wouldn't spend money to max either of those. Alright guys, so this is going to be all for me today. Of course, I'm going to make more videos talking about each of the pieces, actually testing them in action. Probably I'm going to change my mind by then, and yeah, that is all for me today. See you next time. Take care.
Perfect.